Hello Gemini, this is your reading for love and relationships, October 2017. Okay, just a few more seconds and then I'll cut the cards. Okay, your first card is an Ace of Cups. You have a Knight of Cups. And then you have the Sun, which is very nice. I mean, romance. If, you know, just looking at the first three cards, a promising relationship. I then have a Knight of Pentacles, more change. Knights bring change. I have a Three of Cups, so lots of Cups energy, which has been happening for other signs as well. I have the Tower. Then I have Temperance reversed. I have the World. So very strong major arcana cards here. Then I have a Six of Swords, and remember, swords represent air, which is your energy. So very interesting, Gemini. Love, being swept up in a romance. Very happy period for you, for some of you. Things are looking up, even if you're not in a long-term relationship here. So Ace of Cups, some of you could be having someone bringing love to you. You also have these two Knights here, water and earth here. And we can always assume for some of you Geminis, this is two different people. Someone with water energy, someone with earth energy. But remembering that Knights bring change, Knights take action, they go to war as well. They defend. We have this Knight bringing emotions. We have a Knight of Cups bringing love. Okay, so this cup you see here, now it's in the Knight's hands. That brings us to the Sun, which is an incredibly uplifting card. So yeah, we have someone bringing love, opening up a possibility of love for some of you. And so that leads to the Sun. It brings that happiness. And as I said, just being in love. It's intensified. The Ace of Cups is intensified by the Sun. The Sun intensifies everything when it's positive and not reversed. Even for the entire spread. Even if you get cards like Ten of Swords or the Devil or the Tower, the Sun sort of still trumps those cards. Okay, and you do have three other major arcana cards. You have that Tower, which is destruction of the ego. We have a little bit of turbulence here where something out of the blue happens and things immediately take a sudden turn that you're not happy about. And so Temperance is reversed. Peace and balance are reversed. Especially since you see those two cups here, right? Balancing emotions here. Those cups that you were getting here in the beginning, all of a sudden the cups go topsy-turvy. And then we have the World here, big changes, big transitions that you really don't have control over. Okay. But as I said, those two Knights here in your spread indicate big shifts and changes, shifts and changes with emotions, falling in love. But then the Knight of Pentacles, can bring more down-to-earth, stable energy as well. That this relationship emotionally, was so you know, when we fall in love or in a relationship, when we do have strong feelings, you get a sense here with the Sun and the Ace of Cups that it sort of swept you off your feet here. But then by the time we get to the Knight of Pentacles, who's approaching these three women, we get the Three of Cups, which is about party celebration, but it's also about friendship. It's not as serious as the Two of Cups. So there might be friendship issues, interference with other relationships. So we get this change in our practical lives. The Knight of Pentacles saying, yeah, I know you were in love, but now there's a new change, a new issue that's going to come up here. I know that you were swept off your feet and you were happy. Your head was in the clouds here with all this wonderful romance. But then issues of responsibility and the practical aspects of a relationship come in. And it could even be two competing energies, not necessarily between two people, but how two people in the relationship are approaching, how two people in the relationship are seeing this connection. You know, someone who's in love, and then the Knight of Pentacles is more practical and more detached. So even if you feel like because you're an air sign, this has nothing directly to do with you, you should at least consider that this Knight of Cups and this Knight of Pentacles are indicating changes between feeling emotionally happy and enjoying the relationship and being in love. But then, especially with the Tower here, we're dealing with serious friendship issues and relationship issues, even ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend issues that the Knight of Pentacles is now bringing, that there are practical conflicts going on in this romance or in this relationship. So I'm getting a sense of turbulence. I think this Three of Cups, I feel it as representing issues with other relationships attached to this romance or this partnership you've got going on. Maybe another girlfriend, your girlfriends or boyfriends, someone being jealous, things like that. And that's why I'm getting a sense of the Tower, that there are conflicts, revelations, even arguments that are going on. And because of that Tower, then when we head into the future, more turbulence, because Temperance is upside down. And then that's when the World comes along. And when the World comes along, and that's a major arcana card, it means the closure of a chapter in your life. You're ready to move on. It's the last card in the major arcana. And so when this World comes along, you know, you might have learned from it. You might have dealt with a big issue here. I think the Tower always brings issues to learn from and to adapt from and to change. And so when this World comes along, it means that there's a new chapter. You're supposed to welcome the World because it means that you've learned the lessons you were supposed to learn and you're ready to move on. But it can also indicate someone's energy changing to where they feel a need to make a change that's going to affect the relationship. They might make a decision where I feel like I'm ready to move on to a new relationship. And that can very well happen to some of you Geminis, because after the World and after this big shift or change or completion or resolution, we have the Six of Swords. We see you perhaps moving on and leaving this relationship behind, but it could also be leaving this issue that came with the Tower behind. I think the Tower is going to set in motion a lot of relationship issues that are going to put pressure on your friendships, pressure on this relationship, whether it's a partner or a person of interest. There's going to be a little drama, a little turbulence, a lot of emotional pain here with the Temperance card in reverse. And then the World comes in and it says, okay, whatever's done is done. You can't change it, learn from it, and move on. And that's when we get the energy of Six of Swords, which is moving, traveling, and it can be traveling over water, and it can also be traveling to a new home, a new job. And then finally, the Six of Swords can mean moving or traveling, just traveling away from a bad relationship or a very bad situation. So I see an important transition for some of you, that you fell in love. Some of you are in love. A relationship is going well. And then I see for some of you interference with friends, a little bit of drama, a big event, a big blow up, argument, betrayal happening with the Tower. So temperance is thrown into reverse. Balance and happiness and peace are thrown into reverse. And so the world comes, and there just needs to be an adjustment. There needs to be a backing off, or just getting to a new place here. So I'm going to look at your outcome card here. And the outcome card you have is the Fool. And the Fool is reversed. And the Fool is usually about taking a risk. And the funny thing about this is that it's a major arcana card. This is 0 in the major arcana card. It's not really even ranked in tarot, because it can show up, the energy of the Fool can show up at any time. The World is the ending. But then you kind of zero out here with the Fool. And the Fool is not necessarily about being stupid. The Fool is about starting all over again. Okay, new beginnings, and following your destiny, following your goals, and just taking the risk of following what makes you happy. But when it's reversed, it's sort of it becomes more about reckless behavior, not thinking before you leap here, not thinking before you rush in. And one scenario that came to me is that, you know, some of you might be in a position where you move to a new home, or you move out of state for a relationship. And it might prove to be not quite a wise decision. The tarot has the Fool in your outcome card as if to say, whatever comes out of this change in this decision you make with the Six of Swords, it might not work out for the best. And so once again, I see some of you Geminis with the Tower and the Temperance card in reverse, all this turbulence that seems to come after these wonderful cups. I see you guys dealing with a little bit of turbulence and really serious decisions that you have to make with this relationship. Especially seeing that emotions, we have insecurity, we have fears, we have a lot of things going on with that Temperance card in reverse. But by all means, don't let that fear and insecurity, Geminis, push you into moving and doing something that you might regret later. Okay? And this could also reference someone else, that this partner, this Tower seems to indicate not just an ego being torn down, but an unexpected event based on something that, you know, someone was just not seeing the signs. They weren't paying attention to the red flags that, you know what, there are things wrong with this relationship. There are things that there are some really negative aspects to this relationship, and someone didn't want to see it. And so when we get to the Fool and the outcome, it's the tarot saying you needed to pay attention to some of the things that were going on in the Tower, and you definitely needed to pay attention to some of the emotional issues that were coming up with Temperance. Okay? And maybe the World is an indication, as we come from the World, the big changes to Six of Swords, traveling for change, traveling to that new place, or that new scenario, or that new life. The tarot seems to be saying, just watch the signs, pay attention to the red flags here, because this has the potential of going wrong here. You might find that you made a really bad decision. So Gemini, that was your reading. And thank you so much for your support and all the wonderful comments you guys have been leaving for me. So just a reminder for you new subscribers, check out my relationship energy reading. There's a video in it in my promotional playlist, but also go to my website. It's $15 and it's a great starter reading if you're interested in finding out what's going on between you and a love interest or a partner, and what future do you two have together. So having said that, I hope you're enjoying your autumn. For those of you, especially on the East Coast, I hope everyone is safe and sound. And I will see you on YouTube, and I'll definitely see you next month. So take care, and I wish you love and light.